The Word of God, Mark chapter 12 verses 41 to 44. As Jesus sat across from the offering box in the temple, he watched the crowd putting money into the box. Many rich people put in large sums, but a poor widow came and put in 2 copper coins, worth only a fraction of a cent. He called his disciples to him and said to them, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who put in the offering box. For all the others put in out of their surplus, but she out of her poverty put in all she had to live on." Reflecting on the meaning and lesson. Faith beyond material values. The widow's actions demonstrated absolute faith in God. Although she had only 2 small coins, she was willing to give her entire wealth to serve. This teaches us that the value of giving is not in the amount, but in the heart and trust in God. Humility and sincere giving. Rich people can easily give large sums of money without affecting their lives. In contrast, the widow gave all she had to live on. This reflects sincerity, humility, and true love for God, not based on formality or ostentation, not measured by worldly standards. The world often judges a person by their wealth, power, or achievements, but in God's eyes, what is precious is sacrifice and sincerity. The widow's small act has great significance in God's plan. The test of faith. Giving all is not only a material sacrifice but also a test of faith. Through the story, we are invited to put our complete trust in God, especially when faced with difficulties. Lessons for life. Give with gratitude and sincerity when helping others or contributing to the community. Do it from the heart, not because you expect anything in return. True value comes from sacrifice, sometimes the smallest acts, when done from the heart, have the greatest impact. Live humbly. Avoid showing off or showing off. Instead, let your good deeds shine in silence. Trust in God's providence. The widow teaches us that even in poverty or hardship, trust in God is always a solid support. This story reminds us that, with little, there is much in the heart, and encourages each of us to live a life of dedication, love, and faith. You can reflect on and apply this lesson to your personal life to make life more meaningful. Reflecting on the story. True wealth lies in the heart. The story reminds us that it is not the amount of material things that makes a person valuable, but the heart that gives. The widow, though poor in assets, was rich in faith, sacrifice and dedication. On the contrary, the rich gave large sums of money, but the surplus did not carry the profound meaning of her actions. True love is giving everything. The widow did not keep anything for herself. She was willing to give away the little she had. This was an act of absolute love, showing that she put her trust in God more than in the things of the world. This teaches us that when we truly love, we do not calculate, do not keep for ourselves. Silent action but great meaning. The widow's action was not done to attract attention or receive praise. It was a silent but meaningful action, appreciated by Jesus. It reminds us that sometimes the smallest and most unsung acts can have the greatest impact. Testing faith in adversity. Putting ourselves in the widow's shoes. We can easily see that giving away all of our meager possessions was a challenging decision. However, she did it because she trusted that God would care for and protect her. In this way, the story invites us to maintain our faith even when faced with difficulties or uncertainties. Practical lessons for life. Giving doesn't have to be rich. Sometimes, we hesitate to give or help others because we think we don't have enough. But this story shows that anyone can give, even a little, as long as it comes from the heart. In fact, giving is not just about material things, but also about time, encouragement, or presence. Appreciate the sacrifices of others. We often admire the rich and powerful, but this story reminds us that the quiet ones, like the widow, are the symbols of nobility in God's eyes. Learn to recognize and appreciate the silent sacrifices in life. Be grateful for what you have. The story teaches us that instead of worrying about what you lack, focus on being grateful for what you have, and use it to bring good things to others. A spirit of gratitude helps us live simply, peacefully, and lovingly. Trust in God's providence. The widow's actions remind us that when we give our hearts and faith to God, He will care and take care of us. Always believe that no matter how difficult the situation is, God always has a good plan for each of us. Value lies in sincerity, not appearance. We can easily get caught up in showing off or trying to impress others with good deeds. But this story emphasizes that true value lies in sincerity, not in appearance or recognition from others. Suggested actions. Practice giving every day. Find ways to help others. Even if it is small things like words of comfort, sharing, or a little bit of wealth. Live simply and meaningfully. Take time to evaluate what is truly important in your life. Focus on love, sharing, and good relationships instead of chasing after material things. Trust in God in all circumstances, when facing difficulties. Remember the image of the widow and her strong faith. Put your trust in God, because He is always with you. The story of the widow and the 2 coins is a reminder to each of us that in God's eyes, the most important thing is not how much we give, but with what kind of heart we give. Live lovingly, sincerely, and dedicate your whole life to good values. Deeper reflection on the spiritual lesson. True wealth is the richness of the soul. The widow in the story was not rich in material things, but she was rich in spirit. Her faith and love for God made her the richest among those who were giving at the temple. We are often caught up in accumulating wealth, but this story reminds us that the most valuable asset is a peaceful soul, full of love and compassion. Giving from poverty has a higher meaning. The widow's giving of all she had shows that giving from poverty is much more valuable than giving from abundance. This teaches us that giving is not always easy, but it is in the midst of difficulty that the act becomes more meaningful and noble. Love over calculation. In life, we often act based on consideration, calculating the pros and cons. However, this story invites us to love and give unconditionally, without thinking about what we will lose or receive in return. Only when we dare to give everything, can we truly live according to the spirit of God's love. Every contribution, no matter how small, has great value. Never think that what you have to give is too small or insignificant. The widow's 2 coins, although small in material terms, become a timeless spiritual lesson. Similarly, any good deed we do, whether it's a smile, a word of encouragement, can make a big difference in the lives of others. Testing faith in modern life. Today, we face many pressures in life: finances, work, relationships. The widow's actions raise a question for us. In the midst of those challenges, do we dare to completely entrust ourselves to God? Faith is not only demonstrated in prosperity, but also in poverty and uncertainty. Practical lessons for life. Be generous and forgiving. Always be willing to share what you have, not just material goods but also your time. Love and care. Every time you help others, you are doing a beautiful act before God. Learn to appreciate what you have, instead of focusing on what you have not achieved. Be grateful for the blessings you have in life. Gratitude helps you become rich in spirit, like the poor widow who was the richest person in God's heart. Live for inner value, not outer form. The world often exalts the rich, powerful, or famous, but Jesus pays attention to small and humble actions. Live honestly, without boasting or showing off, because God sees your heart. Dare to let go to live freer. The story teaches us to dare to let go, not only of material possessions but also of spiritual burdens such as worries, fears, or excessive ambitions. When we let go, our souls will be free to trust completely in God's providence. See everything with the eyes of love. In daily interactions, look at everyone and everything with the heart of God. No judgment, no comparison, just full of love. This helps you realize the true value in every small action of yourself and others. Suggested application in daily life. Do a small good deed every day. Help someone around you, or simply spend time praying for others. Put your trust in God in difficult times, when facing challenges. Remember the actions of the widow and believe that God is always with you, guiding you through every difficulty. Share joy with others. You don't need to be rich to do this. A smile, a thank you, or a simple act of help is enough to make others feel your love. Live simply but meaningfully. Eliminate unnecessary things in life. Focus on spiritual values and love. Conclusion. The widow's actions are not only a lesson in giving, but also an invitation for each of us to live a meaningful, loving and faithful life. No matter what your living situation is, remember that with a sincere heart, you have offered God the most precious gift.